Okay, shout out to HOP and AL Fan Club on Instagram, aka House of Payne and Assisted Living fan page, because this video is kind of dedicated to them because they post a lot of clips from both shows. Specifically, I want to highlight the clips that they post from the original House of Payne series from the TBS days. Man, is TBS even still a thing? I know that's a weird question, but I don't think I've ever checked the channel out in years. Yeah. Kind of like the OWN network once the Tyler Perry stuff was gone, so was I. All right, but in all seriousness, this is kind of piggybacking off the video I did about that tweet regarding Janine, how most people only associate the character for being a crackhead and a dang good one, but not really highlighting and giving praise to her growth and development, fighting off her addiction for the sake of her family, getting CJ back, having twins with him, getting back to work and just being an overall, great mom. Even though that's debatable in the reboot where she's like gone for extended periods of time due to work. But regardless, I really did like seeing a tweet highlighting Janine in a positive light. But while doing the video, I talked about, some of the elements of the original series where this chair. Hey, very soon I'll be moving, so I have new furniture, new everything, so I'll have a non-squeaky computer chair. But yeah, when it comes to like Malik and a lot of the videos that get posted on the Instagram page are like, Malik stealing the motorcycle, or Malik being disrespectful towards Janine, or, when he tried to square up against CJ because I think he believed his dad was cheating on Janine or something. And I just thought about how I feel for CJ. I really do, because he went through a lot, his wife secretly being an addict, burning down their house, leading to them having to move in with his aunt and uncle, the stress and pressures of coming to grips that, his wife is an addict and, he wanted a divorce, and then having to be a single parent. And through all of that turmoil, he never really seemed to realize the pressure that his kids were going through. Like, I feel for Jasmine being so young and having to deal with this, but I felt more for Malik than anyone else, because being older, he had to deal with a lot, because going to school and then being made fun of because, haha, your mom's a crackhead. And I think even when Janine got clean and wanted to be, a mom again, like, hey, honey, I'll drop you off at school and whatnot, Malik didn't want to, to do that, because it's bad enough that he has to deal with the fact that his mom is gone. I think there was even an episode where they thought Malik might be gay or something, because, he was kind of acting feminine, but in reality, he was trying to be a mother figure for his little sister because Janine wasn't there. And that was a prime example, like, man, it's really impacting the kids, especially Malik. And then when you have the home situation being completely unbalanced because they had to uproot and then move into Curtis and Ella's house, you also look at the fact that when he goes to school, he has to deal with the cruelty of being mocked and whatnot, and people talking crap about his mom. And then when he doesn't have positive ways of letting out that anger, he lashes out. I mean, you could tell. I think that Malik really isn't a bad kid. I just think that he usually has to bottle things up a lot. And whenever he has those outbursts on his parents, or, Ella or whatever, it's because it's built up aggression. It's not like he is nonstop disrespectful. It's because he's holding on to so much. So it really does hurt when, like, I think even Malik tried to check his dad. It's like, yeah, I'm going through a lot right now. Well, you didn't think me and Jasmine are going through a lot right now too? Our mom's gone. She's an addict. I got to deal with this constant, bullying and whatnot at school because people know about her addiction and whatnot. And then I think CJ did say, it was like, I'm sorry that I didn't really realize that, even though I'm going through right now, you and Jazzy are going through it as well. And I think there are moments where CJ does have those, you know, he needs to be humble, where it's like, yeah, he's trying to do the best he can as a dad, but he's also forgetting that in the midst of you working hard, trying to forget about your issues and, you know, trying to, you know, get a place for you and your kids to go, at the same time, your kids are going through it as well. But then you have moments where Malik, you know, getting mixed up with the wrong crowd, you know, like taking Uncle Curtis's motorcycle for a joyride, and you know, the list goes on. Like, Malik has a long list of various things he did that were bad. But like I said, I think it just comes from the fact that he didn't really have, you know, a stable home environment, and he lashed out because of what his mom did. And as a kid, you know, it's like, you know, when an adult talks, you listen. But the problem is, a lot of times CJ never really listened to his children. I think I was watching a clip of Family Matters on YouTube the other day. It just popped up. I think it was the scene where Eddie tells his dad he wants to be a cop. And in the comments, it's like almost 90% of the issues on Family Matters would be, you know, avoided if Carl just shut up and listened, as opposed to just raising his voice. And I'm like, yeah, that actually is true. And then you look at all the times where it's like CJ roughs up Malik, and it's just like, no wonder he became somewhat of a wuss in the reboot series, because whenever he kind of wanted, I don't even want to say disrespect, but stand up to his dad about something, his dad would just instantly kind of get rough with him. And I'm like, wow, he definitely gets that from his Uncle Curtis. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I don't think CJ was a bad dad, but I think he definitely needed moments where, in the midst of the issues he was going through, dealing with the Janine stuff, I think he needed more moments where he checked in with his kids to make sure they were doing okay. You know, like I said, with Malik being a teenager and whatnot, and being in school and having to hear all these horrible things about his mom. And even when his mom got back on the right track and tried to do right by, you know, her kids, that doesn't erase the things he has to go through, because whenever the mom pulls up, it's like, hey, there she goes, she's the crackhead. Yeah, that's not fun to go through. So I also wanted to highlight a Janine moment where I felt like she was kind of out of pocket when I think Malik wanted to go into the ROTC program and eventually go into the military or something. His mom didn't want to do it. And I think that the Hernandez's, their son had just gotten back from the war, and he was having, you know, mental episodes because like PTSD and things like that. And it was like a prime example of like, look, if you go to war, this is the kind of thing that can happen to you. But I felt like the episode was giving the wrong message, because here you have Malik going into a program that could actually whip him into shape. And I'm not just talking about like physically, but I mean like discipline wise, because I feel like that was something that was truly missing from him for a long time in the House of Payne series. Because again, with everything with Janine and the, you know, situation with his mom, he definitely needed to be in a program like that, where he would be trained, he would be, you know, taught discipline and things like that. And it would be a positive way for him to work out any sort of tension and whatnot. But then Janine was going into mama bear mode. It's like, nope, you're not going to do it. And I loved how CJ actually had his son's back for once. It's like, I'm a firefighter, babe. Like, it would be hypocritical of me to stand in my son's way if he wants to do something like this, because he wants to do something that could, you know, help protect other people. And as a parent, or in Janine's case, a mom, I can understand her not wanting her son to do something like that. But he comes from a family that has a lot of the men who do things to help others and to protect and serve. Curtis was a firefighter at one time. Calvin was a volunteer firefighter. His dad is a firefighter. Even though Ella doesn't work in like active duty, she does a lot of stuff with the community via the church. So he comes from a family that does a lot to either protect and or serve others. So I felt like Janine kind of putting her foot down and going out of her way to deter her son from something like this was not a good step. But yeah, again, I just wanted to do a quick video to highlight how Malik wasn't really a bad kid. Yeah, he made some bad choices, but I think it really stems from the fact that given the broken home situation he had to deal with, his dad really didn't do as much as he should have to kind of help his son get on the right track. It's like, you do what I say, as opposed to like, why did you do what you do? or why did you do what you did? You know, that kind of thing. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.